Hi, this is the irony presentation. This is to introduce the next story that we're going to read. There are three major types of irony. We're going to talk about the three different types and go over examples. The first type of irony is verbal. It's when a character says one thing but means the opposite. Here's an example. If you say the locker room smells really good, I'm sure if you've ever been in a locker room, you know that locker rooms do not smell good. Awesome, another homework packet. I don't think anybody ever says that. The first type of verbal irony is sarcasm. Words that mean the opposite of their literal meaning. It's usually intended as a put down. The second type is overstatement, to exaggerate or to state something too strongly. The third type is called understatement, to represent something in a weak or more restrained way. Let's look at an example. We visit our friend in the hospital. We know from his wife that the prognosis is bad, and also that our friend has been informed of his condition. When we enter, we ask him how he's feeling. Well, he says, I have been better. What type of verbal irony is this? Someone tells us of an occasion on which he told an off-color joke. Off-color means like tacky or crude or maybe dirty about a grandmother, and then realized to his surprise that his own grandmother, a prim and proper lady, happened to be standing right behind him. I literally died, he says. What type of irony is this? Sarcasm, overstatement, or understatement? Here's another example. Mother comes into the TV room and discovers her 11-year-old watching South Park. South Park is a cartoon, mostly for adults. Instead of doing his homework as he was set to a dozen minutes ago, pointing to the screen, she says, "Don't let me tempt you from your duties, kiddo. But when you're finished with your serious studies there, maybe we could take some time out for recreation and do a little math." What type of verbal irony is this? Situational irony definition. This is a third type of irony, when what actually happens is the opposite of what is expected. Something about the situation is completely unexpected. For example, a firehouse burning down. Okay, you would expect that a firehouse would be able to keep away fire. Excuse me. In our story, Most Dangerous Game, Rainsford intends to go hunting and he ends up being hunted himself. That's the opposite of what we expect to have happen. That's the opposite of what he expected to happen. The third type is dramatic irony, when the reader understands more about the events of a story than a character. We know something the character doesn't know. For example, if you're reading a story or you hear a story, Tim's parents are proud of the A he got on the test, but we know he cheated. Alex writes a love poem to Judy, but we know that Judy loves Devin. The dramatic irony is that we know something the main character doesn't know. Which type of irony? So there's three types. Jeff spent 30 minutes setting up his trick. He placed the bucket of water very carefully on top of the door so that it would fall on his mother's head as she walked through. However, just as Jeff was walking away from the scene of his trap, he accidentally bumped the door. The bucket of water came crashing down on his head, soaking him. Which type of irony? Monica always had a secret crush on Bobby. Ever since the 7th grade, she has constantly daydreamed about what it would be like to date him. She could never let him know though, that was too risky to their friendship. She always had to pretend that she didn't have any feelings for him, even though her heart constantly beat out of her chest every time she saw him. All right, so to review, something that is ironic is unexpected. If it's unexpected by everyone, it's situational. If it's sarcasm, that's verbal. If it's unexpected by a character, but everybody else knows, it's dramatic. So look at this picture And what type of irony is it? You'll notice that this is a fitness center and there's people taking the escalator, and then there's also some stairs. It is situational. You don't expect a fitness center to have an escalator because they cause you to burn less calories. Those people should be taking the stairs. All right, we have a Pepsi truck, and the man is loading a Coca-Cola machine into it. This is situational. Again, you wouldn't expect to see a Coke machine with a Coke machine coming out of a Pepsi delivery truck. As you walk outside of the pouring rain, your friend sarcastically comments, "What lovely weather we're having today." This is verbal. Your friend is saying that it is lovely weather, but she actually means the opposite. It's a very dreary day. What is ironic about this picture? This man has a sign and it says, "Get a brain, morons." This is situational. The guy is calling the protesters stupid, but he spelled moron wrong. All right, this has a picture of a car crashed through a window, and the sign above the building says School of Safe Driving. This is situational. The van drove into a school of safe driving. You wouldn't expect that. You'd think that they would be a safe driver. They're from that school. I don't know. Your date for the school dance shows up in ripped jeans and a stained t-shirt with a smirk, and you say, "Oh, I see you dressed up for the occasion." That's verbal irony. What you've said is different than what you mean. You mean your date hasn't bothered to dress up at all. Isn't that what you said? We have a billboard here that says child obesity, don't take it lightly. Below that, there's a billboard for McDonald's. This is situational. It's ironic that a McDonald's sign is next to a sign about obesity because what does McDonald's do to people? Makes them fat. When watching a talk show, the audience knows why a person has been brought on the show. However, the person in the chair does not know that they are going to be reunited with a long-lost friend. This is dramatic. The audience knows information, and the person in the character, the person being interviewed, does not. We know why the person's been brought on the show, but they don't know. You have a broken down building, and then a sign on the building says complete home repairs. This is situational. Would you expect someone that lives here to specialize in complete home repairs? Would you trust somebody who's advertising for home repairs if this is their office? Then you have a prison. You have a prisoner who is making a tunnel, trying to escape. And the building next to the prison is an outhouse. And if you don't know what an outhouse is, it's where people go to the bathroom if they don't have indoor plumbing. And what is underneath in the dirt under an outhouse? Well, it's a bunch of poop. The prisoner thinks this is dramatic irony. The prisoner thinks he's making a great escape. We know he's about to end up in a pile of waste from the outhouse. We know something the prisoner doesn't know. All right, now you're going to be tested and try and guess what the different types of irony are in these pictures. This is a stone, and it says, "Nothing is written in stone." What type of irony? This is a newspaper headline. Mississippi's literacy program shows improvement. This is a cartoon. The bug says to the other bug, "Nice weather, huh?" The other bug says, "Yes, why can't it hail all year?" This is another cartoon. One character says, "What happened this time?" The other character says, "I was viciously attacked by gravity." This is a can, a rusty can, and it's a can of Rust-Oleum, and it's a product that stops rust. This is a cartoon. A cat is dumping food into a fish bowl. The fish says, "First he warms our bowl, now he's feeding us, and you thought he wasn't friendly." The bowl is sitting on the stove, and the cat is putting salt and pepper into the bowl. This is a cartoon. Somebody's looking out the window and saying, wow, it's raining cats and dogs out there. The cat and the dog are thinking, huh? This is a cartoon. There's a man sitting in a lounge chair in the living room full of popcorn. He says, popcorn's done, honey. This is a freezer, and the shelves are full of ice cream, and the caption says, I only like ice cream just a little bit. The end.